Hello, my divine lovelies. So, I have a question for you. Have you ever felt like you were being held back by something, but you couldn't quite figure out what it was? Like, you felt like you have explored all the possible options, removed all the variables that could possibly have kept you where you were at, and you're still feeling like you're stuck in the same place? Well, good news. It could actually just be something as simple as your shadow self. And today, we're uncovering what is shadow work and how you're able to use it to transform your life and heal from the inside out. Hello, my divine lovelies. Thank you so much for joining me here today on the Daily Yapper. I am Sarah the Celestial, and it is so good to be here with you again today. So, by the end of this video, you're not only going to know what shadow work is, but you're also going to know how you know you're ready to start practicing it and some practical tips and tricks on how you can integrate it into your regular self care or mindfulness routine. So, excuse me. First of all, I would like to introduce that shadow work is nothing like what it sounds like. It is not dark, it is not deep, it's not scary, it's nothing that needs to be feared or even that has access to anything occult or mystical. It is truly just a way that was developed by Dr. Carl Jung in the 20th century. He actually was an amazing pioneer with his links and discoveries with psychology, psychotherapy, and some of the amazing things that we've been able to put into practice into our regular psychological exams and routines and remedies that we're able to do today. Now, shadow work is a powerful tool that can help you transform the way that you see yourself and the way that you understand and build your relationships and your own boundaries and etc. So shadow work is a process where you are able to bring up the hidden parts of yourself, the parts of yourself that like emotions, behaviors, traits that you may suppress because they don't fit into your ideal image that you have in your head about yourself. Or it could be because they're very uncomfortable and painful, and they're not just really something that you want to bring up to the surface because you've done away with those ways. You've done away with the way that you used to do things. You've done away with the way that how that felt and that experience, and I'm done. It's stored away. However, the one thing about shadow work is that it's like cleaning out the closets of your mind. Yes, there can be a little bit of a mess, but we have to be able to clear out and clean out that mess so that we can have the clarity and the peace of mind that we deserve. Some of the ways that you can start to identify how you are ready for shadow work and if it is something that you really need to start integrating and practicing to help improve your life and the way that you experience life or this human experience. One of the ways is by feeling like you are out of control or feeling like you are easily triggered or you have emotional outbursts, or as some would say. Now, with that being said, it's not to say that your emotions are not valid and your reaction was not valid either. It is only to say that sometimes we need to understand when it's the right time, when it is a good time to have those reactions and feel those things. It is okay to still feel those feelings. However, having an emotional outburst on someone or having an overreaction to something that really is an easy fix is not something that should be occurring in your everyday. This is something that we need to be mindful of and considerate of because not only of ourselves and what we are feeling, but also of the other people that are around us whenever those things happen. Another way is being able to, not being able, so sorry, being unable and avoiding some people or emotions or memories or some painful thoughts, being completely avoidant to a place that maybe you, for example, you got broken up with on that park bench right over there. So you completely avoid going to that park even though it has a really nice walking trail that you enjoy. That's that type of thing. These are some of the signs where you need to start thinking about integrating shadow work into your normal self-care, mindfulness, or even just in your 10 minutes before work while you're drinking your coffee in the morning, just so that you can have a better plan for any contingencies that might come up in your day so that you are mentally ready and prepared to be flexible, to be adaptable, to make sure that you're not being, dogmatic in what you are wanting and the way things have to be. And that's not the way that I planned it going around in my day. So today is just awful. it's terrible. It's being able to shift your mind and your mindset about, if you are able to do that about certain traits, qualities, and behaviors in yourself, you are a powerful manifester. You are someone who is able to create an amazing day out of something that could have been terrible or awful. You're going to have such an amazing power and ability to be able to control and narrate the things that are in your control so that you're able to see things through a different lens. You're able to see misfortunes and hiccups in your plan and setbacks as something that you can grow from, that you can use as a stepping stone for your healing, as something that instead of it being a crappy day or I really just, today's not my day. No, I'm not feeling it today, but today is still amazing. Today is still something that I can make it something amazing out of. Now, also, this can be leading to, if you need shadow work, this can be leading to some thoughts of low self esteem and lack of self acceptance, lack of self forgiveness, being able to have grace with yourself. This can be showing different ways in your life, such as there's so many ways that this can manifest, and I feel like they manifest oftentimes, and people are so used to seeing them on a regular everyday basis that it's hard to explain. But even in the sense of just saying negative things about yourself and allowing others to say negative things about you and just being like, okay, it's not, it's not, okay. It never is and it never will be. And you deserve to go down the journey and go down the path that shadow work leads you to. Shadow work is very much, it is about the journey. It's about where you started and how you continued on, the perseverance, the continuance of loving yourself, the self-awareness, the mindfulness, the being able to practice these things and every day, the determination, the willpower, and the resilience that it takes to be able to do shadow work can help you in other ways in your life. It reflects in different ways. Now, here's some practical ways that you're able to integrate shadow work into your everyday morning routine, such as 10 minutes in the morning. One of my personal favorites is journal prompts. I love having journal prompts such as, I have fears of being seen. Where does this fear come from and where is it stemming from? What situation did I feel like I was being seen, but I didn't like being seen, or where someone made me feel uncomfortable for being seen for some of the traits and qualities that I do? This can show up in your workplace. This can show up in other places other than your relationship with yourself and your relationship with others. This can show up in your work. Why do I feel like I'm not doing adequate enough work at the end of every day whenever I'm outdoing other people? Why do I feel like I need to do and I need to prove my worth so much more than others that it causes me to go into burnout and I'm exhausted and I'm getting sick? These are certain journal prompts that are excellent for your shadow work to start integrating and really start thinking about some of these things, because let me go ahead and just tell you now, shadow work is never going to immediately spring out and you're going to have all the answers. It's going to be frustrating whenever you first start out because you're really thinking to yourself, why am I having to do this? Why is this feeling so uncomfortable? And I come from a place of like being bratty usually. Like if I don't want to do something, I'm going to be bratty about it. Why am I having to do this? This isn't even like upfront. It's not telling me anything that I need to know. I'm having to ask myself questions that don't even make sense. Okay, and ask them. Ask them. That's the whole point, is getting to know a new version of yourself, a version of yourself that you have lost complete and total touch of and you don't interact with every day. And that's what I started looking forward to. Whenever I started thinking about, oh man, I'm getting to that point. I'm getting to where I need to do some shadow work again. I need to go ahead and delve deep and go into this hermit mode where I figure out what is bothering me. Why am I feeling this? Because negative emotions oftentimes, if they are not avoidable by where you're at or what you're doing or some of the things that you have control over in your immediate environment and surroundings, then they are caused by something that you still in yourself probably have some control over, because fear comes from a place of experiencing something that caused you to fear it. If you fear the dark, what was it? What experience caused you to do that? Was it something jumping out at you whenever you were younger? Or is it just because you aren't able to see in front of you and you fear uncertainty and the unknown? Like those are the things that you need to delve deep and dive in so that you excuse me, are able to come into the most aligned, authentic version of yourself so that you can build the relationships, healthy relationships off of honesty and communication because you know where you're coming from now. If something makes you feel uncomfortable, if you don't like the idea of being in a polyamorous throuple, but you can't figure out why, that can help you understand that. I'm speaking only from my own experience because at one point I really had to ask myself because I had a partner that wanted to do that. And I was like, why am I uncomfortable with the idea of being a polyamorous throuple? It works for a lot of people, but then I had to start figuring out what is love to me. How do I perceive love? How do I give out love? Other than outside of just your love languages. Like, yes, you can know your love language, but why do you do that? Why is that your love language? There's some good, really good journal prompts. And some of the other ways to do that is by mirror affirmations. I love talking I love encouraging talking to yourself in the mirror because it is one of the most uncomfortable forms of affirmations ever. I don't know if you really like, admire your appearance and you're not a like really big perfectionist like me and you just are like, oh, I'm just that. But like some days I'm just like, oh my God, I can see this. There's that zit there. And oh my gosh, why? No, stop it. Go and tell yourself how beautiful you are and how your skin radiates like the sun. Go and remind yourself that you deserve to be breathing the air and being in the spaces that you are in. You deserve to have the relationships and support that you do from the people that are around you. You deserve to be living in the environment that you are currently in, regardless of if you have a job, regardless of if you give back, regardless of if you have something to provide to someone or you're not making any money right now. You are worth every inch of space and every ounce of air that you take up. And I want you to go and remind yourself of that in the mirror every morning, every night, if you can. I need you to understand that you are worth every single mess that you make. Just like me, just like me. And then another way that I like to do this and what I like to encourage, especially for my clairaudient people and the people who have more sensory stimulation and like to focus their sensory stimulation on their ears and on audible sounds like I do. Mindfulness meditation videos on YouTube, or if you have an app where they do mindfulness meditation, also that is an excellent way to start. Having mindfulness meditation so that you can start, if you're one of those people who's been telling yourself, man, I need to get back into meditating, or I really need to integrate meditating. I've been being pushed towards this and taking 5, 10, 20 minutes a day just to sit with myself in complete, just uninterrupted environment. And I don't say silence because again, my stimulation is audio. So I usually listen to some subliminals so that I am able to stay focused on what it is that I'm needing to practice that meditation for. Why am I coming to myself today? What are we discussing today? What's the round table talk today? Think about it and start to play with how you are able to practice shadow work. Add a little bit of playfulness into it. Whenever you do shadow work, go and get yourself a little latte or make yourself a little espresso. I feel like we need to start including fun and injecting fun into every way that we can, especially into the uncomfortable things, because shadow work is not easy, but it becomes easier as you become more adept and stronger and strengthen your bond and resilience within yourself. Instead of having the world throw it at you and becoming resilient, go ahead and start strengthening yourself before the world can throw it at you. You know what I mean? Now, a few ways that you're able to start integrating this, or at least now, if any of this sounds intriguing and you're ready to start shadow work wherever you're at in your journey, or if you are someone who's been practicing shadow work, but you're needing to get back on track, make sure that you check down in the description box below the links that I have linked. It's going to be for journal prompts and mindful meditation videos that I personally like and that I think you guys might be able to get a lot of help from, and just a lot of inspiration on being able to create not only your own journal prompts, but also being able to practice that mindfulness meditation whenever you're not in a position where you can listen to it. Also, please make sure that you like and share this with a few friends who you feel like need to know what shadow work is, or maybe just be reminded that they need to be doing some of their shadow work. I'm not going to say I'm in that, but you can assume. just do what you will with that. Make sure that you are commenting. Tell me about what ways you have already been practicing shadow work if you didn't already know that they were. I love doing a like video journal or like doing a voice journal about my shadow work and some of the things like some of the epiphanies and full circle moments that come to me throughout the day. And I hope that you're able to integrate maybe even that tip, because what one practice works for one person, it may not work for the next. So please make sure you play with all of them and you start to get creative. Go to Pinterest. I promise Pinterest has the prompts that you need for your shadow work. Let me tell you, baby. Let me tell you, that's where I got started. Pinterest was one of the most amazing places. And I also, once I got adept and more familiar with shadow work, I was able to start including it into my tarot and astrology. And that's why I like to do what I do now, is so I can include that shadow work into my tarot and astrology practices so that you guys are able to have a way that you can use the tools that I have gained in my experience of fucking up and finding out on how you're able to heal yourself and transform your life so that you are able to enjoy this human experience and it doesn't have to be so hard. Okay. I love you all. I hope that you stay tuned. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button. The next video, we're going to be talking about how shadow work is able to not only attract the relationships that are healthy for you and being able to establish that connection in attracting instead of chasing after the things that you want in your relationships and in your one-on-one connections. And we're just going to be discussing all of the wonderful things whenever it comes to transformation and healing and evolution and making sure that we are all evolving and going to that next level of consciousness as a collective. Okay. I love you all. To my divine lovelies, you are the most amazing set of community that I have. I hope that you continue to stay blessed, divinely protected, supported, loved, and guided in everything that you do. And I will catch you on the next video. Bye.